Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NeverOpen podcast. The podcast. I fucking lost it again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NeverOpen podcast. The podcast open to everyone, especially Noah. My name is Luke. I am your host of the NeverOpen podcast, and with me, as always, is Mr. Andy. Say hello, Mr. Andy.
Hello, Mr. Andy. Hello, Luke. And hello to folks listening to the Noah Open podcast, the podcast open to Noah.
I tried to do that a couple times, everyone, but my coffee brain was just like, no, this is too much for you to handle. You're bamboozling yourself. And Andy just had to do the little intro there just then. So, yes, that is true. Hello. We're going to talk about the Noah show today. Happy New Year.
Yeah, man. Happy New Year's 2024. We're going to talk a little bit about some major New Japan news that has broke in the past couple of days, getting ready for Wrestle Kingdom. If you're listening to this, there's a good chance you're listening to it on or after Wrestle Kingdom. So I don't know if we'll do a whole preview or anything, but we'll talk about it a little bit. But we are here to talk about the Noah The New Year 2024 show. I don't know. Luke, it had its ups and downs, but before we get to that, we got some big news I have to reveal to you that you don't know about.
Oh, really?
You didn't know about this big news that just showed up on New Japan World. There's actually two news stories. Would you like the most or least important one first?
The least.
The least important one is the Lion's Den is going to return in 2024 Dojo Showcase, the New Zealand dojo, which has only a good reputation and not a bad one at all. But they're going to have some shows, I guess. I don't even know if it's going to be on New Japan World or anything. So that is the least important news.
Now, what's the most important? Hit me.
The most important news is that we have the finals of the Best of Strong 2023 polls. So here we go. Top 10 or, top 5 matches from New Japan Strong. What was your favorite match from New Japan Strong? I know we covered that already in the best of, year-end top 10 list, all that stuff. But, can you reiterate your favorite matches from Strong?
I feel like Shingo versus Tama winning the Never Gold. Yeah, done.
That wasn't Strong. So, was it? I guess it
happened on a Strong pay-per-view. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's what they have listed.
Oh, they have Will Ospreay.
I don't think he's on any of these. So it is number 5, Eddie Kingston versus Jay White at Battle in the Valley, February 19th, 2023. Fuck that match, though.
Yeah,
here's a number 4.
Yes.
Jun Kasai and El Desperado versus Jon Moxley and Homicide. Independence Day, Night 1, July 4th, 2023. Yeah, and it's funny how your best matches of the year, some of them happen on the only show in Japan on the first day of the year, pretty much. So, just downhill after that. Number 3, El Desperado versus Jon Moxley. Independence Day, Night 2, July 5th. That's what I said. So that was one. Now, here's one I actually would consider awesome. And I'm like, yeah, I like those matches, but I don't know that they're the best match ever. Number 2, actually, okay, tied for number 1. We have a tie for number 1, just like the show we're going to talk about has 2 main events. We have Zack Sabre Jr. versus Mike Bailey from November 10th, 2023.
Yeah,
TV
that was pretty
Championship.
good.
And then, of course, the number 1 match is Kyrie versus Mercedes Moné, Battle in the Valley, February 19, 2023, which was also one of our most popular episodes this year.
Yeah. So was Tamashii. Just a lot of Aussies wanted to hear Aussie talk about the Tamashis, but
yeah, that or you just listen to it over and over again.
That's true. With my pants off. Anyway, not wearing pants now. My secret is out. Anyway, before we get any further, it might be a Noah-based show, but there's still professionalism that I need to do.
Oh, geez. Well, yeah.
We are on the Tweety. I am there for now. I'm at Grumpy2EB. Mr. Guy is at Drucifer. Tweets collectively, we are at NeverOpenPod. And if you want to send us a written or voice email, you can do that too. NeverOpenPod@gmail.com. Hey, you got the YouTubes? We're on the YouTubes. You could be watching me saying, hey, we got YouTubes right now, and doing the gestures and things. Get out of here.
Hey, I don't know.
Hey,
Hey, Bobbity
hey.
Boo, bruschetta brioche.
Yes, just look us up. We are just Never Open Podcast or Noah Open
Noah
Podcast
Open Pod. Yeah.
on the YouTube. So get us there. And if you've got any of that Sasha Banks money, kick it our way. We got a Teespring store where you can buy merch that'll make you look never as.
Now, folks that weren't watching this, what you missed is you missed the gold dust, preparation for that Sasha Banks money. It was like, gold dust does that before he, bites somebody or whatever. You did that. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. So
thank you.
Well, Luke, we watched Noah the New Year 2024. What did you think about it overall? What was your viewing experience like? How did you watch this show?
Well, some dude I do a podcast with got Wrestle Universe, and I was like, sweet. Oh, by the way, how did I watch this originally? Oh yeah, I sat here on my ass on January 1st thinking, oh, that's weird. Andy hasn't bought the fucking Wrestle Universe. Should I get it? And then I was like, wait a minute. It's the 1st of January. The show's on tomorrow, fucknut. So, that was my first experience with the New Year's show, getting the day wrong.
Yeah, well, and you're in the future, too. So, I didn't even, I haven't even had a chance to buy it. I wasn't going to sign up for it on, the 29th, the 30th, the 31st. It was going to be the 1st. Which, by the way...
they would have cut, because you would have charged it both months, yeah.
Yeah, I was eligible for 7 free days, a free trial. So that means that other people should be eligible for that as well. So if you want to watch the show we're about to talk about, you can probably watch it for free. Just set yourself an alarm and cancel.
Now, as, right. Good luck with that. As for the show itself, I had a really good time watching it. The only time I felt like I had a bad time, there's some matches on this show that I'm not really that into, and it's mostly because it's just dominated by Noah guys. It was just a Noah match, and no offense, they're fine, they're not bad matches, but I'm a New Japan guy, so there is that. But I had fun with the whole show until I got to the main event, which I thought was super mega boring and bad, but in a holy shit kind of, okay, I can't believe this is this bad kind of way. So it's sort of watchable, I guess. I don't know. I did say boring, so that's not good. What about you, Mr. Guy? How'd you feel? What was the vibe watching this Noah show?
Well, this show started for me at 1 a.m. and this is a fun little trial run for Wrestle Kingdom, because Wrestle Kingdom will be starting around that same time. And so, guys don't need to hear about my preparation and attempt to prepare sleep schedule wise, but I was up for it. And, I got about 4 to 5 hours worth of actual time I can pay attention when it's that time of the day, and I did almost all of it. One thing that was weird is that I noticed the show had 13 matches, and I thought, well, it's supposed to start at 1. They'll have a pre-show at that point, so I don't need to hurry. Half the time I hurry and worry about it, then they're late or something like that, right? So I was like, well, let's see what's going on Twitter, and Noah's already posting GIFs of the show, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's at 12:30. So I turn it on, and there's some pre-show matches going on that were actually before the show, which I was thankful for, but still, this show has a running time of 6 hours.
Fuck. No, you're not wrong. I started watching this at 5 p.m. I mean, maybe 4:30 because I missed the start of the pre-show, but let's just say 5. And it ran until after 9, so yeah. That was a big show. It's one of the biggest shows of the year, though, right? So it's always going to run long.
I'm not mad it was long. It was just, I only got so much time I could pay attention. And once I got to the main event, I was like, I don't care about this. And it's a shame that this show will overall be known for what we'll talk about in the main event, because it kind of overshadows everything.
It does, doesn't it? It's such a shame because, dude, I like this show.
the fans' reaction or lack of reaction is going to be something to talk about. So, man, that was a rough one. But Luke, this show did take place at the Ariake Arena in Tokyo, Japan. I believe, if I'm correct, that a few people, we don't know them, but they posted their thoughts on going to the Ariake Arena.
That's true.
On Google. Is that correct?
That's true. I need to be sent one again, by the way, because I accidentally left and re-entered earlier before we started recording like a dum-dum.
All right. Well, I got to edit all that then. So let me send it to you. Yeah, I wonder. I don't know what that message you sent me. I was like, I don't know what that means. You need review again. I was like, I don't know what you mean. So, okay, so let's leave some space here. If I can send the goddamn thingy. All right, paste. All right, so I'll introduce that segment again.
I love this segment. It's one of my favorites.
All right, Luke. Well, this show took place at the Ariake Arena, and it turns out a couple people we don't know went to this arena and posted their thoughts on a website called Google, I believe is what it's called. Is that correct?
That is correct. I have one such review here, and I'll go first if that's all right with you, Mr. Guy. Please. It is a review of the Ariake Arena, and it goes a little something like this. I just stole your line. Actually, I think you stole it from Run DMC, but never mind. It's the worst. On the way back, you cannot use the toilet as it is restricted by a rope. The price of the cafe is also quite famous. The nearest station, which is a short walk away, doesn't have enough toilets and there are long lines. Management looking down from above is the worst. I will never use this venue again. 1 star.
So at this venue, you walk by and management is hovering on the second
snooty
floor.
Management's like,
and they're watching you. They know there's not enough toilets. They know
took some
one
out.
of them is blocked off by a rope. They know it, and they just look up from above, looking down at you, going, "I bet you have to pee, don't you? I bet you do."
The management's like, let them shit their pants.
Well, Luke, I also have a review from a stranger of Ariake Arena, and mine is the following. It reads the following, since I can't use that line because you used it. I was in I mean, damn. So it goes a little, well, I can't say that. So
yeah, you can.
I was in the back row of the 4th floor seats, so I had to turn to the side at about 45 degrees, and the speaker in front of the screen was completely covered by the angle. So I couldn't see it at all. I thought it was a pretty bad seat. I didn't think it was suitable for performing concerts. I'm not going anymore. 1 star. All caps. Very angry. Very angry. You know, it's like, then don't go. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not just...
I'm just imagining Michael Douglas just like, he's having a really bad day and he's just like, I'm not doing this anymore. and just leaves the traffic jam and starts his day. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. That is fucking amazing. I love these. I love doing these.
Yeah. Now, Luke, this venue is like the standard venue, that we've seen many times for Japanese pro wrestling. It's like the medium size, although they said 10,000 people can fit in this place. So apparently it's not medium size, it's a little bigger. But I started the show and I was like, oh shit, there's a match going on. It was like Disco Dads facing each other, which is important to what happens later.
Whoa!
Big things going on we'll talk about with
no wrestling with someone named Teriyaki. And I was like, really? Yeah. Teriyaki? All right, fine.
I thought you liked it. You seem, the way you were messaging me seemed
like it was a pun name, and it is. I've got my coffee voice, pre-coffee. Yeah, it's. I don't know, man. It's
show's
the dumbest thing and awesome. Yeah.
Noah's shows, I guess, start with an announcer who is celebrating St. Patrick's Day. I guess he's dressed like he's from, a guy on the streets of of Cincinnati on St. Patrick's Day or something, and he welcomes us, and we get a promo video for all of the matches. Mark and Stu on the call. What did you think of the English commentary, Luke?
It's the same English commentary that you always get when you when you watch a Noah show. It is good for when you feel like tuning in with your ear holes and being like, oh, here's some backstory. But it also has a quality that I wasn't sure I liked at first, but I've come to kind of like, and it's this ability that some commentators have to be like, all right, I can listen in on them and pick up on what the story is and all the background, anything I need, fine. Also, they're easy to tune out. So, I could just focus on the wrestling and all that kind of stuff. So, they're not bad. And I'm not insulting them with that as well. I kind of like that I can do that.
Yeah, I like them. I don't hate them. They're fine. You know what I mean? They don't really, like, their excitement level is kind of, hard to predict. Sometimes they just don't give a fuck about things, and sometimes they're freaking out, and you're like, and you don't really know why. But at the same time, that could be the way they do their inside jokes. I don't know. Maybe they don't do inside jokes, like, because that's New Japan has to do all the inside jokes.
But that G-Man dude looks like he's like one little detail away from being dressed up as a Batman villain.
Yeah, he needs like some kind of quotation marks or some kind of punctuation on his jacket, and then he'd have a full-on gimmick. So
yes, he would. Riddle me this, Noah fans. I mean, exclamation mark me this, Noah fans.
He's exclamation mark man, and he's the one who writes all the Google reviews about the venues.
Never again!
Because they love exclamation points.
Look, do you want to take the first match? Because I feel like you really loved yourself some Alpha Wolf.
Oh man, yeah. So the first match was a title match. It was the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship Tag Match. It's a 3-way match. Lucha rules. Alejandro and Ninja Mac versus Dragonbane and my favorite wrestler, Alpha Wolf, versus Yohei and Tedeschi Trucks, which is what I'm going to call him. So, because I can't pronounce his name, and plus Tedeschi Trucks is a tremendous guitar player. Anyway, so Bane and Wolf are the current champions, right? And they look like, I don't know, man. They just look like their masks are very generic skull, like lucha guy masks, like that's kind of the way I saw them. And we'll talk about, these guys a little bit, but the match is full of fully synchronized flippy shit that makes no sense at all, but is totally fun. I don't like it at all, but I have a lot of fun watching it. So Alpha Wolf refuses to sell anything for anyone, and it is so funny. It is just the funniest shit ever. He just will not sell anything anybody does. Ninja Mac eats shit trying to do a 630, and Yohei rolls him up. So they celebrate like they won, and their music starts playing, and the bell rings, and the ref leaves the ring. Match, right? But no, Alpha Wolf and Dragon Guy, they get in the ring, and they're like, whoa, this was elimination. Yes, this was elimination. Didn't you know that, ref? It was the elimination match. So we actually get a second match because it was not an elimination match. And I don't know how this happened. I don't know if this was supposed to be part of the story or if the ref and the music guy just botched this. So we get part 2 of the match. The match is restarted, and it is, what is it? It's Dragonbane and Alpha Wolf versus Yohei and Tedeschi, who are now the champions because they just won the title, right? So I guess the idea is, hey, we didn't get pinned. We need a rematch. And we want it right now. So that is restarted. Crazy tandem moves again all over the place. Yohei hits a drop kick, I think, on Alpha Wolf and pins him. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe Alpha Wolf agreed to that. But they came out looking pretty strong, though, as champions, Yohei and Tedeschi Trucks, because they got their first win. They won the titles and then defended them all in the same, that was like 4 weeks worth of wrestling in like one match. So that was, I thought the match was not my style, but I enjoyed it anyway.
I agree. There's one moment where both of us just wrote "ha ha ha." I think this is an Alpha Wolf Dragonbane scenario. People are on the outside; they're waiting to get dived on, right? And with two spots, both dives, I get the sense of everything that lucha wrestling is. Lucha wrestling to me is two things: crashing and burning, or fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
No, there's no in the middle for me. Anyway, we get the first guy. I think it's Dragonbane. He goes to do the flip off the rope. His legs catch and his shoulders hit the apron, and then he kind of lands on them. And you and I are just like, and then, and then Alpha Wolf's like, well, I don't really have to do much to assert my dominance here, do I? And he manages to execute the perfect dive, fucking nails it, as I said. So, oh my goodness, that really made me fucking laugh. So yeah, its match is like a fun mess that somehow gets messier after the finish, or should I say, the first finish. Oh my goodness, it was still a good time. But next we have a group that is called Good Looking Guys, and I'm just like, are they trying to do just five guys? But no, there's another group that's just trying to do that later on.
There is, but Good Looking Guys has been around for a year, just like Just Five Guys. So it may have been the response to Just Five Guys. We're not really sure. So
well, all I know is that three members of Good Looking Guys. It's like the Wish Just Five Guys. It is Jake Lee, Jack Morris, and Anthony Green. Now, one of the members of this group looks like Hillbilly Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah, it's Jimmy the Snake Roberts from that Battle Royal I saw where he comes out and hits a bunch of DDTs on everybody. It was his son. That's Anthony Green is his son. So.
Oh my god. And they are versus wrestling against. By the way, I hate the fucking wrestling name Jake Lee. Jake Lee is my cousin's name, spelt exactly the same.
Ew, gross. Ugh.
And I like my cousin. Jake Lee sucks. Okay. The wrestler sucks balls, from what I can see.
He's fine. I like his getup. Yeah, but who are they wrestling?
Oh, look, I've got a neck tattoo. Fucking, I'm following the footsteps of Just Five Guys and that wrestler everybody loves from the AEWs, the Cody Rhodes. Oh, he left? Anyway, he's got a neck tattoo. I don't know, man, what I'm saying. Anyway, they're wrestling against Dr. Wagner Jr.
El Hijo de Dr. Wagner HD Jr. His name's like this long.
Fucking, I'm not doing that. I saw that there, and I was just like, look, I'm just doing Dr. Wagner Jr. Yeah, Vinny Massaro, who I felt like wasn't he a jobber on Lucha Underground?
Yeah, Dr. Wagner was on Lucha Underground too.
Yeah, but is this
he won?
Yeah, but is this the younger Dr. Wagner we've got now?
Yes.
Or is it because I remember on Lucha Underground it was the old fart Dr. Wagner? Right.
Yeah, there's two of them. Regular Dr. Wagner, and then the son of Dr. Wagner.
So I just take one look at like Vinny Massaro, and I'm just like, well, that team's losing. Well, I also don't care about this match, and I didn't make a notes for it. I'm sorry. This match is fine. As soon as Mr. Andy told me, he's like, you know what, Luke, I don't think I care about this match. I was like, you know what, me neither. I might roll up a little something and come back for Ishii Kitamiya, and it worked out just fine, Mr. Guy. So, what about you? What did you think of this match?
Okay, no finish on this one, huh? So,
Jimmy the Snake pins Vinny Massaro. Shocker! Yes.
Vinny Massaro does nothing in the entire match, and he looks so. I mean, he looks so dumpy, and I know that's part of his character probably, but he literally does nothing. He tags in at the end and gets pinned. That's it. Like he's like Tiger Mask gets more shit in than this guy, you know?
There's a match in Lucha Underground where there's 4 jobbers in the ring, and they're about to start, and you're like, what? This is a stank match. They're all jobbers. And one of them's Vinny Massaro. And the match is about to start, but then Tejano comes out and beats everyone up and throws them all out of the ring. And then the real show starts. You're just like, yay! That's Vinny Massaro.
Well, Luke, speaking of stank, and when I say stank, I mean stank belts. The next match is one that we were looking forward to. It's Ishii, who does not bring the stank belt with him, versus Masa Kitamiya. Now, this is a match that is 2 years in the making. Like, if you go back in the annals of our podcast, you'll see the New Japan versus Noah first time they did that, show like 2 years ago. And that's kind of when this seemed to be, oh, we want to see this match. And here we are fucking 2 years later. I love that about Japanese wrestling. So both these guys are like clones. They're just,
they came from the same bats.
Yeah, exactly. It's just Ishii is, he was the original prototype, and Masa Kitamiya is, a little further down the road. They added hair and a beard. So anyway, well, yeah, he looks like him and Soya, who I have a hard time telling those two people apart. They both look like they've trimmed down and lost weight. So they looked a little different to me, So anyway, this match is exactly what you think it is. It's going to be fucking, just insane, like strong style heavyweight match. So they do that. Ishii stops selling at one point and just beats up Masa in the corner. And he's like, hey, check it out. He pulls his pants down and shows us his giant New Japan swinging dick, which I was shocked by. But it's on paper.
God, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, so you could do whatever you want. So Kitamiya eventually fires up, and he gets his turn on offense, and they do the back and forth strong style like pro wrestling thing. It's good. Kitamiya goes for some fuck your leg several times to take advantage, though, which I didn't like, but the crowd loved it. The crowd was like, yes! And then, Luke, we see a super knee smash, which was pretty fun. Super knee smasher. Like that, right?
You messaged me straight away about that. Luke, did you see double knee smash? I'm like, I just wrote that in my notes. Oh, my God. Yeah.
So these two get a big lariat war that leads to a double down, and the crowd gets really loud. And this is when I realized the crowd hasn't cheered for anything yet. Like, this is, they're just now getting like, oh, fuck, we love this. And so, like, they get loud in this match, and it's like, wow. And it's kind of like, it's not the loudest they get in the whole show, but it's close. So they love this match. So anyway, it's really good. Anyway, Indian Deathlock for a long rope break that, the crowd just absolutely losing their minds. And Ishii's he has to face, Kitamiya, who is kind of like sitting up while he's doing the Indian Deathlock. And it's this cool deal. It's really good pro wrestling. That leads to Kitamiya. Oh, wait, here we go. Kitamiya, he drops Ishii with a big elbow. All right, they do all these big near falls and stuff, and reversals and power ups and kickouts, all that shit. This leads to Kitamiya hitting Ishii's moves. So at one point he hits a brainbuster. He hits a sliding D at one point, but of course, Ishii like fires up immediately. And then we get a spot that this match will probably be remembered for, and that is that Kitamiya hates himself, and he hates his brain. So he decides to do the Shibata spot and just shoot headbutts Ishii. Now, I was watching this with headphones on, and you heard the coconut, you heard that, and it was like thud, and it was scary. So that happens, and we look down, and Kitamiya is bleeding just like Ishii, or just like, Katsuyori Shibata was, and it's scary, but it's awesome. So Ishii responds by headbutting the shit out of this dude right in the throat and hitting a brain buster for the win. This match was extremely violent at the end, and it was really good. And I think of the two things that this show will be known for, this is one of them.
This match fucking rules. We knew this would be never as fuck, right? I mean, as soon as the bell goes, charge, just like running into each other, just beat the shit out of each other. Is this the match where I see a chop block that the commentators call a low spear?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, a low spear? That's a chop block, man. Like, come on. Everyone knows that's a chop block. All right, whatever. Low spear. And I did harp on about that probably way too long.
Well, we made jokes out of it. Yeah, we made jokes out of it because after that, every move with some kind of level of spear. Lariat, it's a high. high level spear,
Yeah.
And then like he hits a regular spear, and we're both like, I don't even know what to call that. I mean, that was a lot of fun.
But the commentary does have a. I don't know quite what it meant, but the commentators say, "Oh, when they're beating each other up and stuff. Oh, this is like pistols at dawn." And I was like, "All right, you got some decent lines in your boys. That's right. That's pretty good." But the thing that makes this a little different for me, and I kind of liked this element of it, it's like, well, Kitamiya sees the fucking bandage on Ishii's knee, and he brings a bit of fuck your leg to a Never style match, and I think it works. Ishii sells it like a maniac, and the match is just fucking great. I loved it. And next we have Go Shiozaki versus, oh my god, the man who gets booked on every show because he's amazing. It's Satoshi Kojima? Yeah, I'm having a Kojima about Mr. Kojima right now.
I like that.
He's in my fantasy Kojima book. All right, so it's Go Shiozaki versus Mr. Bread. I thought this match was really good. Maybe not amazingly fantastic or anything like that, but solid. I think you, me, and Ian noticed while we were watching this that the crowd's kind of quiet for this one. And maybe it's because I like Go Shiozaki. I also like Mr. Bread. Who the fuck do we cheer for? A little bit of that. I could be wrong, but that's how it felt to me. Crowd didn't know what to do. But then wrestling does something I fucking hate, and I wish it would stop doing that, because every time they do that, I'm just like, okay, this is happening. And I hear it or I see it. Oh, Go Shiozaki, he's never beaten Satoshi Kojima. And I'm like, well, Kojima's losing now. I mean, he was always losing. We know that. New Japan does not lose any inches for Kojima losses, by the way. So, I just want to put that out there.
They add girth, actually. So
I just want to say though, like, despite the crowd not quite being sure what to do, Go Shiozaki and Kojima, they put on a great time. The crowd gets into some of the near falls towards the end though, but Go Shiozaki, he wins with a lariat and just falls on top of Kojima for the 1, 2, 3. And I thought he'd win in sudden Noah fashion, and he did. So, yeah, that's another thing I think I always forget when we go into like a modern Noah show is just how different they kind of plot out their matches. And not only that, the finishes. I could be like, it's no wonder the fucking commentators are caught unawares. If they don't know the finishes, they're probably like, I'm going to have it's over. Oh my God. Oh, I didn't expect that. Fuck, I wanted my sip of coffee just now.
Well, but yeah. I mean, they should know the rhythm of the match at this point.
This is the rhythm of the match. All right. Oh, yeah. The rhythm of the match.
After that match, Go Shiozaki grabs the microphone and he gives us a good old-fashioned John Hatfield special because he says, oh, that Kojima guy, let's hear it for Kojima. He's good. I'll put him over on the mic, but not on the mat. So, although he'd already beaten him, a few times. But anyway, and so we get a new faction made. This segment is terrible because it's like Go Shiozaki, I'm collecting all the guys that are the Noah guys, and we're going to be the Noahs. And it's like the Disco Dads and two guys I've never heard of. And he's like, these are the guys. And it's like, okay, bro, these are your boys? These guys that lose every match? Okay, I mean, whatever. So he made a new faction, and he's like, there's just 5 of us that are going to make the changes, you see.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think good-looking guys are just 5 guys enough. And someone at Noah was just like, oh, I've got it. These ones. Yeah, it does seem very just 5 guys light. But that's okay. We don't have to watch it and complain about it. Instead, I have to watch and complain about fucking Gorillas of Destiny all the time. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, next, Luke, we have... we have the ladies match, and it is pretty cool. So this is interesting. This has got some good things going on with it. It's got some really not so good. So this is the debut of Great Sakuya, who is the baby found in the mountains by, aka in his front yard by Great Muda, who got misted in the fucking face and is now a wrestler. That's all it takes. You get misted in the face, found in the woods, mist in the face, weaned. You feed them the mist, and then they become a wrestler just like that. Now, do they become a good wrestler? We're about to find out. So it is the Great Sakuya and Nozaki versus, and I just got last names, Umasaki and Takasi. Now, I'm probably botching those, so whatever. It is what it is. Takasi and Umasaki, they are traditional Joshi wrestlers. That's important to know. All right. Nozaki is more like a new school kind of, wrestler, and Great Sakuya is something else. So we have three wrestlers that kind of do the same thing, and then one that is completely out of the ordinary, which really affects the match a lot. So we get the full-on old-school Muda entrance for his daughter, and she's got the whole get-up on with the hood and all that stuff, and she has a fan, and it's really cool. And she reveals that she has this cool face paint, and Muda is there for his daughter. That's kind of annoying, right? Your dad's used to be in the company, used to be the company's boss, and he just comes back just to watch you, and it's like, cool, Dad. But at the same time, if your dad's Muda,
it's like your dad drops you off at school and gets out of the car and then goes to class with you.
Yes. So Muda Jr. Acts confused at to start the match, like, I don't know what's going on. I'm seeing things that aren't there. She's from the demon, world or some shit, right?
I can see everyone's auras.
Well, she's seeing something. And so
eventually cheese.
She she's harvesting the cheese, yes. And she focuses on her opponent eventually. And it's interesting. So here's the problem. When Nozaki's in, this is a normal Joshi match with psychology and good wrestling. When Muda Jr.'s in, it becomes this bizarre character piece that's really not working.
I feel like she's in another match.
Yes. Whenever she comes in, it completely comes a different match. And I like that they're trying to do both with this match, but it doesn't really work. The crowd doesn't give a fuck. And so it's got this really uneven feeling to it where it's like, okay, here's this great, tremendous moves and really cool shit. For example, one of the ladies does a bridging fall away suplex. What?
Yeah, I saw that.
That was awesome, right?
Nuts.
Muda Jr. and her partner are the heels. And so they do all the cheating. They sure are the cheaties. And so when they do that, man, it's just the match grinds to a halt. They fight over a chair, red mist in the face of one of the ladies, and then a chair to the head of the other. And this is weird because it's like the nicest chair shot ever, right? But then everyone's confused thinking that this lady got busted open, but it's like, nah, she just got the red mist in her face. So Nozuki drop kicks a bunch of people. She comes in and it's absolutely silent. Muda Jr. hits the ref with a chair and gets DQ'd, and then moonsaults her opponent post-match. It didn't really work. It was way too long. I mean, this was probably 35, 40 minutes, and it was it should have been 20 tops. So long. Luke, what did you think of the debut of Muda Jr.?
All right, so the best match I can think of Wato and Taguchi versus the Bullet Club Cuties, El Fantasmo and Ishimori. Taguchi, Ishimori, El Fantasmo, they've got the memo. We're having a fun match today. We're being goofy and silly. Wato tags in. I'm going to fuck you up. And, all right, that's a bit weird. And I feel like the wrestlers seeing that was just like, whoa, man, we're having a fun match. But they went along with it, and it kind of worked. This is what happens when that doesn't work, where three wrestlers are like, we're having this kind of match. And then the fourth person's like, I'm a character. We're having this kind of match. And that was kind of the opposite. This didn't work in that way. Where I was just like, oh, it's not working, and it ends in a DQ. Oh,
yeah, crowd hated it. Just
I
absolutely
did not
hated
like it either. And I'm like, I'm not going to write any of these ladies off or anything like that. But what they put down did not quite work, and it's fine.
Hey, at least Muta Jr. could tag out when there was trouble.
Also, if the ref got hit by a chair, who rang the bell?
Well, the timekeeper rang the bell.
But he's not the ref, so how does he call for disqualification?
I mean, that's a good question. I think maybe as he was falling,
he called the bell. I'm losing unconscious. I don't know who hit me, but it's over.
Maybe it was Dick Togo.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so the next match we have... Look, by the way, everyone, we're a New Japan podcast. When it comes to the New Japan pro wrestlers' names, be they in English or Japanese, we've usually got them pretty well sorted. I should have said this at the start, but hey, if you've gone this far without butchering of the Noah guys' names, just be aware. We don't watch this that often. We don't hear their names said aloud that often either. So.
What do you mean? This is the Noah Open Podcast.
Oh, yeah, shit, sorry.
You can email us at noahopenpod@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, so we got Takeshi Sugiura versus Ulka Sasaki. Now, here's my note for this match, Mr. Guy, and I feel like this is an accurate review of this match. All right, so you and I have this. I wonder if it drives Ian crazy or not, or if he just doesn't care. But Andy and I like to make a lot of jokes that the older you are in Noah, the better you'll do. And then, they always love to throw up the ages of the wrestlers, by the way, on this show. So I didn't need to know Ishii was almost 50 years old at 48 or anything like that. I would like the illusion that he's perpetually like 42 for like life for the next 20 years, please. Like, come on.
It's really important to Noah. Age is so important to Noah that they're showing you all the time everyone's age. And it's like, okay, relax. Isn't that part of the gimmick? I was telling you, why don't they just fucking lie? Just lie. It's wrestling. They lie about everything else, but they're not going to lie about the age because you can look it up online.
For real?
I mean,
but
no, but I'm just saying he could be 40 forever, just like Bart Simpson.
So where I'm going with this, Mr. Guy, is did I have a bad time watching Takeshi Sugiura versus Ulka Sasaki? The answer is no. But here's my review. This is a Noah match, if I was to describe one. Old man beats new guy. Why? Because Ulka Sasaki is making his debut. He is in his 30s. No. He can't go over on debut against man who's 56 or 53 or something like that. Age means experience, stronger, faster somehow. I don't know, everything. And look, Sugiura wins. He wins kind of easily as well. It's fine. It's a decent match. They do some Germans on each other, which is pretty nice. It's a good time. But at the end of the day, if you were to go, Luke, what's the stereotypical Noah match? Oh, old man beats baby.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. Lance Archer needs to get into Noah. I mean, he was in there for a long time. He did very well beating up babies. Yeah, it was like, I guess this Sasaki guy, or however you say his name, he was supposed to be debuting, but like not as a young lion debuting, like as like a regular guy on the roster. And it's like, cool. Why is he this high on the card? Why is this match so high on the card? Why did we get three? Well, we got two singles matches right in a row, and then we got the ladies match, and then we got another singles match. I feel like those could have been broken up differently on the show a little bit. But this match was very Japanese, which I appreciated. It was one of the most Japanese matches on the show, except for the co-main event. But anyway, Luke, next we have some New Japan guys. This is Hayata and Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Ogawa. Now, Ogawa is the guy I always say looks like a Native American warrior. That's what he looks like. Like he would fucking shoot you with a bow and arrow, and do other stuff that's probably racist. But anyway, he looks I'm just thinking of he looks like that. And I like how he looks. He's one of these guys that I don't want to know what his age is, but he probably is 50 Always. He just looks like he's 50. Him and Zack Sabre Jr. used to be junior tag champs together, I believe. Maybe it was heavyweight tag, but and because Zack Sabre Jr. used to hang out with the Stinger guys. That's him. So that's what we got. Hayata and Tanahashi, I'm not sure what they have in common, but they are tagging. So Tanahashi, he did not bring the Stank belt either. Not interested in that. So doesn't want to show that off. So this is a Wrestle Kingdom preview match. And so we get the preview stuff right off the bat from the heavies. And Tanahashi is being such a dick. His team gang up on Ogawa. They beat him up and play guitar to a huge reaction. Because, you know, Hayata is very serious. He doesn't ever joke around. And he played guitar with Tanahashi. And the Noah crowd was like, oh! They couldn't believe it. So that was fun. Zack Sabre Jr.
You got to play guitar with the president, man. Come on.
Yeah, it's true. Zack Sabre Jr. and Ogawa, they isolate Hayata and fuck his leg up. And we get all these insane, complicated, like awesome holds on this guy. It's so fun. Increasingly complicated each time. So I love that. Tanahashi does his silly reaching for the tag thing where he's laying on top of the ropes. And that gets a huge reaction. Now, something I hadn't really noticed much until now is that the ring looks tiny in this match because Zack Sabre Jr. is huge. And so, like, they use the 18-foot ring, and it looks a little smaller. And especially it looks smaller when the ace is laying across it, and his arm reaches halfway across the fucking ring for a tag. So
it's funny you say that. At some moments, the wrestling ring felt like a normal-sized ring to me. But just like what you've just said, there were moments throughout the night where I was like, are they in the strong mini ring or something? Like, what's going on here? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 18-footer. They got the extra, edge for the apron, but I mean, it's a smaller ring than what New Japan uses. So anyway, so the guys, it's Zack Sabre Jr. and Ogawa, they go for a bunch of fuck your arm offense on Tanahashi, and they do a series of double holds on Tanahashi. They're incredible, where Tanahashi's like laying on the ground, and they're just like putting all these wacky holds on him and moving from arm to arm.
They're making pretzels together, exactly.
It's so funny, man. Snyder's of Hanover, we'll call that move. So Hayata and Zack Sabre Jr., they wrap it up with a sloppy-ass finish. They just have trouble doing the 300 moves that they're trying to do smoothly, and the ref starts counting at one point, counting a pin, and then it's like, wait a second, pin's not the finish, so I'm just going to stop. He just stops counting so that Hayata can tap out the Zack Sabre Jr., even though his shoulders were down for like a 7 count. It's not bad, but the finish got botched big time. So.
Japanese refs, because a Western ref would have just counted at 3 there. Fuck you, you should have worked that out, good boys. Is it also a matter of like, it's not a huge criticism because it just is what it is, but these kind of finishes happen less when we're watching a strictly, say, New Japan show. And that's because, well, they're all having preview tags together. They've got they know how to wrestle each other pretty much. Whereas even though they might know how to wrestle anyone and wrestle the Noah guys, it's not something they do every night. So doing all this highfalutin, complicated shit might not be pulled off every time because of that. Is that some part of it maybe?
Yeah.
Or?
I think the ref just fucked up. He should have never started counting if he was going to stop. Or do one of those things where you slide your hand under the mat. Oh, no, like that. Something like that. That's all he would. Yeah.
Just like, oh, wait, I've got to check the shoulders down. Oh, yeah.
All he would have needed to do, and then the wrestlers would have been like, oh, fuck, let's not be pinning each other. Because shoulders were on the mat for quite some time from both guys. So.
Look, and let's be honest here. As fun as this match was, this was a New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom preview match. Like that's exactly what this was.
Yeah, it did its job.
It did. All right. So next we have the GHC Junior title. It is a Daga. Hey, he's from that show where Vinny Massaro was from. Whoa, yeah. That's right. He was one of Cobra Moon's lackeys, I think. Is that right? I think so.
Lizard Kingdom, guys.
That's right. And he's wrestling a person named Ita. Now, I did like that the commentary team did mention that Daga was a Lucha Underground Trios champion. So I'm like, respect.
That's right. He never won the gift of the gods, though. Wasn't even in the conversation of Gift of the Gods, which is probably the coolest belt of all time, you know?
And it's got the little things that you put in it, and you've got to combine all the stones in order to get your title. Yeah, I like that. And I'm getting kind of distracted and moved away from this because I thought this was a good match. I know I just said, yeah, it's Dargo from Lucha Underground, but like that's like a billion years ago, and I haven't really seen much of Dargo since. So it was good to see him again. I don't really know Ita that well. The match was fine. I have to admit to not being all that invested in this match, Mr. Guy. I'm sorry to say. Maybe I'm just not used to junior Noah matches, or I just wasn't into the match, I guess. Or I was just like, hurry up and get House of Torture on, and then I want to see Keno, and I want to see... little did I know. I wanted to see Marufuji versus Kota Ibushi. Little did I know that this match right here would be better than the main event, and it is. So Dargo, he does eventually. He retains his belt, but maybe I'm just off on the rhythms of Noah Junior matches, man. Or maybe I'm just so used to New Japan ones. Like I'm used to a bit of fuck your leg, a bit of flippy dippy. Like I'm used to a certain way that these kind of go down, and this felt slower to me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, Daga is a heel, and he was a very good heel. And he is like in control for most of the match, and it was kind of slow that way, you know, but I really liked it. I mean, he hit a fucking Canadian power slam. I've never seen that before. Stuck his head through the ropes, grabbed dude on the apron, and hit a power slam on the apron, Canadian style. That is fucking crazy. But I thought it was fun. You know, Daga gets a big win after he hits some weird driver thing. It's called Diablo Wings.
Nice.
Fly. So, Luke, why don't you tell us about the next match then?
All right. Thank you. Because, all right. It is a match I was pretty much looking forward to, even though I kind of knew how it would go. And it's weird to have like what a company might consider an important show. And it's weird to have a match like this on it, because this seems like we've done a couple of house shows in a row. Let's make this an elimination match to mix things up. That's, you know, what New Japan does. So this is an elimination 6-man tag team match. We have Daiki Inaba and Shuji Kondo and Junta Miyawaki. They're tagging with Ryohei Iwa, Shuta Umino, and Kaito Kiyomiya, and their versus House of Torture. All of them. We have that son of a bitch, Yoshinobu Kanemaru. We've got, Dick Togo. We got Sho. We've got fucking Yujiro. Feel my pain, Noah.
He's wearing plastic jorts.
He'll never change.
To the big Noah show. Yeah. He's wearing plastic. Happy New Year. Plastic jorts.
Yeah. We've got Ren Narita, and of course, a guy who I was really excited to see on the Noah show. It is Easy. So yes, this is a House of Torture against a mix of faces from both Noah and New Japan, elimination style. And the referees are going like, I wonder how this match is gonna go because we got our fucking New Japan referee. Sorry, that's my doing their accent, and I think I fucked it up.
But we were so fired up. We're like, New Japan ref. It's got to be Chumpy, right?
Oh my God, Chumpy obviously drove everyone except for President Tanahashi, who took the company limo. Obviously, and it's Kenta Sato, and I'm just like, boo, boo. Match hasn't even started, and one rando Aussie's like, boo.
So the president flies on Air Force One. So does Tanahashi ride an Ace Force 2?
Yeah. I mean, like, he just needs to be shot high enough to do the high fly flow over to where his destination is. But yes, so it is all these guys in the ring. So we got the show being a bit of a douchebag early. He almost gets eliminated, but instead he eliminates Junta Miyawaki. So all the good guys are going to be down a person this whole match. Oh, Kiyomiya gets the Togo jumping dick punch. So the crowd sees what's happening and they're booing it. Then Togo does it, and then the crowd's like, hey, because, it's fucking funny. And yeah, Kondo does like these Ishii-like evades because, hey, you see Ishii do it and you're like, oh, I wonder if I can do that. And, the ones where Ishii's like, I'm going to get out of here and make you guys hit each other and all that kind of stuff. So this Kondo guy, he does that and he throws out Sho. But that son of a bitch, Kanemaru, he eliminates Kondo by throwing one person into another. Then he eliminates Inaba as well. So here we go. The fucking House of Torture boys. They've got the advantage. There is some kind of Canadian sling blade kind of thing by Shooter that gets rid of Kanemaru from the match. Dick Togo makes like he's like trying to duck only to headbutt butt Shooter in the balls. So I don't know if he's pulled this spot out before. He probably has, but like it was a nifty little well-timed spot. Like, the wrestler jumps, the other wrestler ducks, hits the ropes instead. But instead, Togo goes to duck, and then just does a cheeky little right in the balls. I was like, the life makers. I was like, oh, that's kind of clever. I like that. It's the kind of low blow that Sonata might pull off. You know what I mean?
Or Taichi now. He does it too. They do.
That's right. Low blows. Well, they're low blow buddies, I guess. I don't know what that means. It's exactly how it sounds. Whatever.
Low spear buddies.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Sounds less dirty. Oh my goodness. But Shooter that gives Dick Togo the Death Rider, and he's out. So yes, you're out by over the top rope eliminations or pins and submissions, all that kind of stuff. Now, Ren and Shooter. Oh no, Shooter eliminates himself to eliminate Ren too. Oh man, they're going to continue having the feud.
I like that.
Yeah, I liked it too. You know they're going to hate each other forever, and you might as well do it this way. Yujiro throws out Iwa after a whole bunch of low blows. I'm like, Yujiro, man, you shouldn't be scoring any points in this. Get the fuck out of here. Kiyomiya, he's the last guy standing on his team. Oh, I wonder if no one will put him over because they never usually do. But, if this was any other kind of guy left standing against House of Torture, my brain would have been like, oh yeah, he does overcome and beat House of Torture. But my brain at the time of watching this was like, man, they hate Kiyomiya. They fucking hate this guy. Why'd they even hire him? He's under 30.
And technically Evil is much older. Everyone in House of Torture except for Ren Narita is much older. So they should be winning. But if they were Noah guys, I mean, they would have beat the fuck out of Kiyomiya.
That's right. So. Also, New Japan does not lose any flaccidity with House of Torture losing. And it's also because there are New Japan guys on the winning side. So there is that. Kiyomiya, he pins Pimpy, and Evil's thrown out. Oh, but the ref doesn't see it, so he slides back in. Of course he does. But Kiyomiya, he wins, eliminating Evil with, a Canadian Shining Wizard.
So, yes, he bridging Tiger Suplex for 2. Kiyomiya gets the win for eliminating Evil after absorbing, 8 eye pokes and all kinds of misdirection. That's what I got. His eyes are made of steel. So I like that this match was like it was New Japan and Noah versus House of Torture. We hate them so much. House of Torture. We will team up with our competitors
to beat the shit out of you. Yes, that's fucking cool.
Kiyomiya getting the win and raising his team's hands at the end. They even chase off House of Torture. House of Torture tries a beatdown at the end, but all the baby faces kind of they circle the wagons and kick them out of the ring and celebrate. And it's like, wow, it's like they didn't even have to get their heat back or anything. So I thought that was a lot of fun. The amount of eye pokes was a little out of control, but that's what you want from this kind of match. And I don't know, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Next week, we had the GHC heavyweight title, match promo video. And the boys Keno and Manabu Soya. They're dressed like samurais, and Keno's like, I am mad about what the guy did and it didn't do. Mad. And Soya's like, I am also mad. And they're saying Congo a lot. So it has something to do with Congo. I don't really know how Congo ended, but it's been like, almost a full year or something like that. Keno comes out in his full-on Congo red gear. And Soya used to dye his whole face red. He doesn't do that anymore. So, he's regular. And he looks different, like I said. So I love this match. Loved it. It was my favorite match of the show. Anytime I get to watch Keno wrestle, it's awesome. But it's got, the deal that you're going to find in like something that maybe should have in the main event. And that's another thing too, just important to note that the Noah fans were fucking pissed this wasn't the main event before the show started.
Really?
Yes, before the show started.
Hey, and in hindsight, I guess they were right, because this match, I agree with you. I think I like maybe Ishii Kitamiya more. That's just me. But this match fucking rules, and it should have been on last. Absolutely.
So we often talk about fuck your neck matches, fuck your arm match, fuck your leg, right? I don't know if I've seen a fuck your stomach match in a while, but that's what we got in this one, because Keno is like kind of not able to handle Soya, and then Soya tries to do this flying lariat, and Keno sidesteps him, fucking kicks him right in the gut, and it's like, oh boy, here we go. And that's when the match really starts. It's tremendous, man. So Keno just starts working Soya's midsection. He hits all kinds of, so he hits a top rope double knees. Then he stands on the dude after a double stomp, all right, and jumps and hits another double knees right to the gut. Oh my God, it looks so evil. It's so awesome.
Fucking vicious. These two used to be friends. Holy fuck.
I mean, he used to dye his beard, and now he doesn't, There's a really long body scissors that's a little bit over the top, because it's like, it's like wrestling, it's a little gay, you know what I mean? And it's like, we don't need that. We don't need it. We don't need you to go too far with it. And this spot's a little like, oh, okay, guys, like take it easy. It's just the position they're in and the faces they're making. It's like easy. So big strike battle. Soya gets some space after hitting a diving lariat, and that was the diving lariat he was trying to hit at the beginning of the match when Keno kicked him in the stomach, right? So that was really cool. That started the whole fuck your stomach thing. So Keno kicks the shit out of your guy, and he hits huge chops, and we get the huge chop versus kick-offs, and it's huge moves and violent strikes. Towards the end, of course, Keno does his like, hey, I'm done with you. I'm going to hit you really hard and slap you over and over again thing, right? So he does that, and that's awesome. Close near falls all over the place. And Keno ends up winning after making Soya tap out to the STF, which is pretty fun. What'd you think of Keno versus Soya?
Versus Soya. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Commentators did a pretty good job. They didn't tell us how Congo broke up, but it was like, hey, this guy was Keno's Arn Anderson and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as I thought of him as Arn Anderson, I was like, yeah, you're not winning the big one, mate. Sorry. Maybe the second one, but not the big one. Which sucks, because Arn would have been a good world champion. But I guess he was just perfect in that enforcer kind of role. But yeah, this is great. The kicks are fucking gnarly. I don't want to be kicked by Keno. I just don't. It also
he's so mad.
Oh my God!
It comes like the anger is channeled through his leg.
Match did have a bit of that Noah-ish kind of starting slow thing, but I don't know. It didn't stop me from getting into it like right at the beginning. I kind of got the story. All right, they used to be buddies. This used to be his enforcer. All right, let's go. Let's wrestle. Match was awesome. Wish I could watch Keno every week. And I guess I could, but I don't have time for more wrestling, except for maybe on a weird show like this on the 2nd of January. But all right, so oh man, can we just talk about this match for another half an hour? It's like, is that possible? No. All right. I can't believe I'm going to say. Oh, by the way, after this match, Go Shiozaki He challenges Keno to a match. And the match is going to happen apparently on January 13th. And that's the day after my wife's birthday. Yeah. So, yeah.
Is that less than 7 days from now? It isn't. It's more than 7 days from now.
It's about 10.
Well,
10 days from now.
Well, damn.
Hey, maybe I've got a 7-day fucking thing going on because I wouldn't mind watching Go Shizaki versus Keno as well. But
we've seen it before. It's always awesome. Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure like the stipulation for this was, and anyone listening could probably correct me, but they usually don't, so I can just say whatever I want. Mm-hmm. Like already, Keno's just like, oh, you want the GHC title? Oh, you got to put your new faction up for grabs.
What? Man, Keno better not get stuck with those fucking jabronis, man. Come on now.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, you want that team?
Why would you want that? Yeah.
What help do you need? You've got the title.
Although it would be funny to see Keno like the leader of a bunch of idiots. That would be kind of funny because he's already mad. Like, imagine how angry he would be if his flunkies are idiots. That would be pretty good. He'd be like Shredder, you know, Rocksteady and Bebop, Turtles.
Oh my God. He's got his own Starscream. Yeah. All right. So it's not often that I watch a match and I'm like, oh man, I got to cover this and feel bad for the match. Like, this is especially the Noah bloke. This is Naomichi Marufuji versus Kota Ibushi. I don't know how long this match went for, but I'm sure it went for like 17 hours. I'm pretty sure it's like still going.
40 minutes, I think, is around how long it was. And, you know, a lot of people talking about this match online. Man, Ibushi didn't look right from the beginning.
I agree.
So it's like people are like, oh, he got hurt on this moonsault. It's like, yeah, but he wasn't right from the very beginning. And I don't, you know, we like Ibushi. We want him to do good and everything. Agreed. But we got a lot of bad things to say about it as wrestling in this match, mainly because he's fucking injured. And like the guy is a complete crazy person who refuses to like, we don't know the backstage stuff, but what the internet's saying is that he just went out there and he cleared himself to wrestle in this match. And like, you know, that could be politics, but at the same time, it's like, that sounds like something he would do, right? Just be like, no, I'm fine. Meanwhile, his like ankle's broken or something. And he just looks like shit.
Now,
it's not good.
I know everyone who's watching a YouTube version of this can see that I am not the most ripped individual on earth. So yes, I'm fully aware of that. When Andy is though, look at him. Look at those fucking guns. Where's the beach, mate? It's fucking that way. Yeah, that's right. But you know, so far be it for me to comment on other people's bodies and stuff. But I just knew straight away. I was like, oh, Kota Ibushi does not have the Kota Ibushi body, and you all know what that looks like. You know, like absolutely shredded and lean. Like,
yeah, he's fat guy Ibushi is what it's going on here, and it's like fat guy Ibushi is the best shape I've ever been in my life. Maybe, you know, in much better. So we're not trying to talk shit about Ibushi. Not that he would care what we have to say anyway.
But he doesn't look in shape. He is sloppy. In multiple parts of this match. Like, the murder Ibushi doesn't work. Like, I don't know. There's just something off about the whole thing. And this is even before, like, injury stuff starts playing a factor into the match. But he's not good. I know Noah's matches start a bit slow when they build up. I kind of got used to that again after, you know, as I was watching the show. The match never really got going either. It just felt like, man, I want to give you a big hug, Marufuji. I just want to buy a beer, give you a big hug. I'm like, you tried, buddy. You tried. But I don't know. Like, I feel like Ibushi is the kind of guy who has carried many a wrestler to a good match, right? But he just would not allow himself to be carried to anything half decent on this show. And what's more annoying and galling to me is that I had to watch 40 minutes of this garbage, and then Marufuji loses. And of course he was going to lose. I mean, for some reason, every company in the world is just like, oh, it didn't work out with New Japan. Pick me to insult my mum and then leave after a couple of years signing a fucking lifetime contract or something. I don't know. This was fucking stank. And I am a kind of guy who likes to periodically type in Taichi, Kota Ibushi, G1. They just kick each other. It's a COVID match, but it still fucking rules. I love these matches. I feel like it's been well documented. But this was fucking garbage. I did not like it. What about you, Mr. Guy? Like,
yeah, it's clear as you're watching this. Like I said, just Ibushi's entrance, something ain't right. You know, I mean, he doesn't even look like he's there. He's just like walking down the hallway at his apartment or something. I mean, that's just what he looks like.
Paycheck Ibushi.
Yeah, yes, yeah. There might be a little bit of that to it. And also, it's just, like I said, he's hurt. And, okay, any time in this match that Ibushi has to leave his feet, it's trouble. Every single time. So here's the first example where I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Ibushi runs at Marufuji in the corner, and Marufuji's going to lift him up and over the ropes. That is a common spot in pro wrestling. I mean, really it's in every single match. And Ibushi won't go over. So they try it again. And he finally goes over the second time, but he even has trouble going over this time. So anytime Marufuji has to lift Ibushi for anything, he's getting sandbagged, right? And it's not necessarily anyone's fault except for the person who decided to go out there when they weren't, healthy. So, and the people that let them do that. That's kind of who's to blame here for this. And here's one of the most fascinating things about this match, and probably something that'll be remembered for forever. Man, the crowd was on fire for Kenoh versus Soya.
They fucking loved it.
They were living and dying with every motion. Marufuji and Ibushi wrestle, they don't give a fuck, and they're sad. The fans, polite applause. That's it. Like, anything that happens in this match, polite applause is the best you're getting out of them, which is kind of a fuck you from a Japanese crowd, right?
They were excited. Then the match started.
I don't know. I think the crowd, they didn't even react to him coming out. Like, Ibushi's music hits, and it's some different music that he doesn't usually. I guess maybe it's AEW. And man, it's just like the crowd's just like. So, like I said, they were already mad at this match for being the main event, and then it sucked ass, and it was just a sad thing. And it's like, man, Noah, you paid this guy to come in here. All right, we were watching when we first started watching the show. It was like pre-show matches with some of the Noah's up and coming guys in the pre-show match. So these guys got bumped off your card for Ibushi, and he shits the bed. And we have not seen the same Ibushi since he got injured in that match versus Okada in the G1. He hasn't been the same since, and that's fine. But man, when he got signed to AEW, I remember people, everyone was all fired up about it. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I just don't think that he can change who he is. And Mr. Brett, here's a great example. What is he, 56, something like that? And he still can go. And of course there's things that he can't do. So what does he not do? Those things. Ibushi won't change. He won't change his style in any way, shape, or form, and he wouldn't change his style in this match to facilitate it. Here's what the problem is. Okay, your right ankle hurts? Make it part of the match. And they didn't do that. They could not do that. And I feel like that any time that Marufuji tried to, make that part of the match, Ibushi resisted, and they were not on the same page. And if you watch Marufuji's face throughout the match, that is where the real wrestling match is happening. It's on his face where he's like, this is fucking bullshit. And man,
isn't Marufuji one of the higher ups in Noah as well?
Yeah.
Here's what you want to do, Ibushi. You want to take a company's money, then fucking have a completely bed shitting match against the fucking one of the top guys, not only in front of the camera, but behind the camera too. Wow, I can honestly see Marufuji just going we don't need him.
Okay, here's how you fix this. Ibushi shows up to the building hurt. Okay, have House of Torture kick his ass in the middle of the show. Done, right? And then all of a sudden, this match has a story behind it. Marufuji doesn't want to take advantage of the situation, but he has to because he's got to win this match because of the important. I mean, good Lord, I just thought of that just now. It's like, but Ibushi, that's why I feel like that it's his fault because he didn't. I don't think he gave them the opportunity. I don't think he told them he was hurt. It's interesting. Marufuji and Ibushi kind of avoid the ref for most of the match. They aren't talking to the ref much, right? At the very end, all right, Marufuji just walks over to the ref and just gives him an earful. And I think he's just telling him, like, get this fucking guy out of the ring. And what happens, I mean, like, crowd's not happy with Ibushi, and Marufuji's not happy with Ibushi. And then something very interesting happens. I don't know if this was planned. I kind of feel like it wasn't, but I could be wrong. Is that Jake Lee and Kiyomiya come out and kick Ibushi out of the ring because he won't leave the ring because he's hurt, but he won't let anybody help him because he's babyface, So they come out and they grab the mic and they like move him, kick him out of the ring because he won't leave the ring. And finally he goes to the back and they move on to whatever, segment they were trying to do.
Yeah, it was
there.
weird. I thought that was like, part of me was like, are they setting up Jake Lee versus Ibushi? I'm like, good for Jake Lee, but I don't want that match. Are they setting up Kiyomiya versus Ibushi? Well, good for Kiyomiya, but I also don't want that match because I've just watched this one. I'd actually much rather see Kiyomiya and just Jake Lee go at it, and I don't even care about Jake Lee. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this about Kota Ibushi. But yeah, I thought that was setting up like, oh, maybe we both want to wrestle Kota Ibushi? Can we wrestle each other first and win it? Yeah. No, it's more like, get the fuck out. We got a promo to do.
Who's two guys that are still in their gear that can take care of themselves? Send them out there right now. Because they might have to shoot. And that's kind of what it seemed like it was. We did learn later that Ibushi was rushed to the hospital after this match with, his ankles are shattered to 1,000 pieces and he's hurt. So it's a shame. It's just, what a mess. And what a bunch of ego bullshit to end a great show. It's like this really great show. And I'm not trying to blame anybody, but man, egos in wrestling just cause problems. And this is a great example of that, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like, would I recommend people check out this show? Yeah, it's a good show. Feel free to totally turn it up. Feel free to pretend that Go Shiozaki challenging Keno for the GHC title was the end of the show.
Yeah.
And then just turn it on. And then you'll be like, well, hey, the show was 40 minutes shorter and it was better. Oh, man, yeah. I can't believe.
What a shame. Now imagine if Marufuji versus Ibushi was the second to last match, right? It would have been like, oh, that's really sad. And that really sucks for Ibushi. But did you see that main event?
Fuck me, did you see Keno versus Sawyer?
Right.
Oh my God. Yeah.
They botched it.
They really did botch it, didn't they? Oh my goodness. Oh well. It is what it is. That was it's
sad,
true.
right?
Like, you and I can look at it and be like, all right, yeah, this should have been last. And I know sometimes a match order like that can affect my enjoyment. I do get emotional about these things sometimes, but yeah, man, that's a clear cut. Like, sometimes a main event can color the whole show. And if they had to just swap those two matches around, people today might have been a bit like, Ibushi? Keno Sawyer?
They wouldn't be as mad about, like, the Japanese.
No, yeah.
And so I don't care either way, but I'm just sad that Ibushi has turned into what he's become, because I really haven't watched much of his AEW stuff, but from what I've seen, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But
they're all tag matches. So he's always had like people to kind of get in front of him and, I guess to hide his weaknesses, I guess. Didn't work, but yeah. No.
His weakness, just like Goto, is his weak body. So
that's right. His body's become weak now.
Hey man, the fucking guy has been jumping off piles of dirt and
fucking
fucking
20 years.
Right. So I mean, it's like I said, he just needs to change his style a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that is when some of the best wrestling can ever happen. Sometimes is when a guy changes his style.
Don't they like? He knows all the styles as well.
Yes.
Just pick one.
Yeah.
I've seen him do Never. I've seen him do Super Junior Flippy Dippy. I've seen him do like submission. I've seen him do like the strong style New Japan title match.
Goofy DDT matches. He's done it all, right? I mean, like what?
Like it wasn't one of those G1s. Like, I'm not gonna beat wrestlers. I want to beat them while kind of incorporating what they do into the match. So
no, that was Yo.
I don't mean in a copy way, but like
I know,
but if Ibushi was against a striker, all right, this is a strike match. If he's against Sabre Jr., all right, this is a mission match. And I'm like, well, if you're a guy like that, just pick a fucking style.
Why couldn't he wrestle the Marufuji match in this match? He didn't. They wrestled the Ibushi match, didn't they? And it didn't work. It's like you said, the murder Ibushi part was just pathetic. It was pathetic, and it was like that. That's one of those moments that like it's like the super finisher. You can only bust it out in certain situations when you need it. Why does Ibushi need to win this match? He doesn't. Why is he going to this place? Marufuji didn't push him there. None of it made any sense. It's like they didn't even talk before they went out there. And maybe that's what it was like backstage. Maybe it was people trying to approach Ibushi to talk to him. It didn't go well, and so they just went out there and did the match. But man, there's a lot of problems with this main event, but the show overall was pretty fun, and it was a nice kind of like rev up to get ready for the main attraction, which is Wrestle Kingdom coming up soon.
Yep, absolutely. It's whet your appetite. It's whet mine. Wrestle Kingdom, as we record this. Oh, it's tomorrow. I'm so fucking excited. Oh my god. Now, as you said, like there's not going to be too much of a gap between when this comes out and when we do Wrestle Kingdom and New Year's Dash. But so we don't really need to do a Wrestle Kingdom full preview, do we?
No, if you want a Wrestle Kingdom preview, the guys at We Work Stiff podcast released an 8-hour podcast previewing Wrestle Kingdom.
Wait, what?
8 hours! I am not going to listen to that, but I'm sure that was lovely. They had every guest on that could, Samsa came on 3 times, I think. So, it's like everybody that could ever be on their show was on it in this one long, 8-hour episodes. Woo! So if you want to learn...
I'm sure they did a whole bunch of recording blocks and stuff, but I don't like doing anything for 8 hours unless it's like sleeping.
Yeah. I could play video games for 8 hours.
Yeah.
On what game it is, So I bought Cyberpunk, right? Mm-hmm. And I've been playing it a little bit, and I was like, oh, dude, this is really fun. I can't wait to get out of the initial part. You usually got to play an open world game for a couple hours, and then you get to the open world part. Brother, can't get to the open world part. Just playing it, and I can't get there. So that's that game has not struck me as something I like yet.
Yeah. I bought that game on launch, and I will never buy another CD Projekt Red game ever again. Fuck them.
Yeah, but they fixed it.
Yeah, they fixed it over a year after I'd already bought the fucking game.
I'm going to pre-order their next game and every other game that's pre-ordered.
And they can pre-order these nuts. I don't know if that makes sense, but fuck them. Then I'll get more of my cashery dollary dues. Cashery dues? Yeah.
Cashery dues?
Sounds like I was saying cassowary, like that bird. What's that bird?
Yeah, that's the one. Luke, speaking of birds, one of our favorite birds is the one called the Wrestler Diary Titmouse.
Hey, there we go.
And so I was wondering if you would read for me a diary from a New Japan professional wrestler.
Not only will I read you a diary from a New Japan Pro Wrestling professional wrestler, which is sent to us by a lovely listener, Jay Doom. It is also the 182nd episode of Yoshi fucking Hashi.
Oh my god. Yoshihashi was so popular with all of his Wrestler Diaries this year that most of our year-end top 10 list, 5-star review, end of year spectacular was Yoshihashi related. And that was shocking.
Man, he's hilariously dull. And it's episode 182. I couldn't get a good night's sleep. Dated November 9th, 2023. Oh, sorry, November 8th. The Junior Tag League Tour has started. This time, I was only booked for matches at the more regional shows. I joined the tour starting... Hey, this is the most he's ever talked about wrestling already.
I know, I'm shocked here.
I joined the tour starting in Fukushima. It was quite warm in Tokyo, even though it was November. And when I usually leave to go on tour, I always depart wearing light clothes and end up freezing every time. So this time I made sure to check the weather properly. This time when I got to Fukushima, it wasn't too cold, but it was still a bit chilly for shorts and a t-shirt. So I'm glad I brought warmer clothes with me.
I thought he was going to talk about wrestling. What happened?
This motherfucker would seriously write a diary about going, fuck, it might be cold today. I'll check Google for the fucking weather.
He's like, I pushed the button with my right hand and held the phone with my left and looked upon the screen with my eyes, and it said the following. It's like, you ever meet those people that want to like give you the play-by-play on everything they're doing? And it's
oh,
like,
yeah. They
you know,
want to tell you a story, and you're like, all right, I want to hear this story. All right, this story happened 2008. Oh, yeah, cool. Actually, no, it was 2009. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what year it was. Tell the story.
I used to, one of my previous fake dads used to tell stories like that. He'd be like, do you remember Jim that lived down on Susanna Way down in 1962? His sister, her name was Jill, and Jill was also the name of my sister, but it was her cousin. And then her cousin lived down on that same road. And it's like, motherfucker, what happened? All these people, all these roads. Tell me what fucking happened.
We don't. Oh, my God. One of my mates, right, he wanted to tell me a joke that he's seen in a movie. And after about 10 minutes, I'm like, where's the fucking joke? Oh, I've got to tell you everything that happens that led up to the joke. Like, I don't want a synopsis of the fucking movie. Oh, we've met some of the same kinds of annoying people. Yeah, the hotel I stayed in at Fukushima this time had a pretty fancy name. So I went there with high expectations, but the room was quite small and the mattress on the bed was mesh-like and extremely soft. It didn't fit my body and my lower back hurt when I slept on it.
Oh, he's a junior. What's he whining about?
Bed's too soft. Remember last time he was complaining about like all the room that he booked out smelling like cigarettes, and then like later on the diary he mentions how Ishii, like whether they give him a smoking room or not, he's always got incense on him, and I'm like, motherfucker, the solution to your problems is right in your diary. Like you wrote it. Ishii incense sticks. Either ask him or buy some.
Maybe Ishii also has rocks that he brings with him in case his bed is too soft. He sticks them under the covers to harden it up a little bit.
That's right. I think Yoshihashi needs a fucking glass of concrete to harden the fuck up.
He needs to get hit in the head with a block of concrete.
He needs to, Sawyer, sort him out. Fucking bang. I traveled to Toyama with a sore back for a match. In the evening, we went to dinner at Kiosk. We went to an izakaya called San Zangogu Uzu branch. I went with other members of Chaos as well as Musashi-san from Michinoku Pro Wrestling. Musashi-san seemed to have a cold personality and was pretty stoic, so Yo wanted us to get closer to him and get to know him more, so we invited him to join us. I recommended the harasu rice, but everything is delicious. Did you get along with him or not? All right. It was a great time to have a nice chat with other Chaos guys and Musashi over some delicious food. What the fuck did you talk about? Like, all right, who was at this thing? There's a photo of them. Ishii had to be dragged along, and he looks very happy to be there. There's Musashi, Yoshihashi, and Toru Yano. Now, I would like to speak to almost everyone at that dinner table, except obviously Yo. The next day, while wandering around for breakfast, I was curious to see some leaflets in the department store and bent over to pick one up. My back pain had been accumulating from sleeping in all these crappy beds. The moment I bent over, my back went. I regretted bend your knees. I regretted my decision to bend over to pick up the flyer. But what's done is done. I had to walk back to the hotel with my pulled back, moving slowly and cautiously. On the way there was a camera on the street, probably a TV station doing an interview. When I tried to pass them by, they suddenly came up to me and suddenly they pointed a microphone at me and interviewed me about cotton swabs. Do you feel good when you use them? How many times a day do you use them? Why do you do it? He asked me a lot of questions about cotton swabs. I bet you when they're splicing together all the comments about people talking about, cotton swabs, are they talking about the shit you just put in your ears to wipe them out?
Yeah.
All right. So I reckon they'll get like a few hours worth of footage, all different people talking about, cotton swabs. And they'll all be like average Joes, right? Then they'll say Yoshihashi, and maybe one of them vaguely thinks like, oh, he's a wrestler from New Japan. Then they hear him talk. Yeah, we'll cut this.
I think this interview, it's going to be like, hey, we're here on the street of Tokyo talking to folks about cotton swabs. What do you think about cotton swabs? And everybody's like, oh, I love the cotton swabs. I use them, and this is the brand I like. And Yoshihashi's like, I bent over to pick up this flyer, and I didn't lift with my legs, and my back is fucked. And they're like, sir, it's like the meme, sir, this is a Wendy's. It's like, sir, we're talking about cotton swabs. Could you leave your back out of this, you piece of shit? That kind of thing.
So this channel is for emergency calls only. Fucking shit, lady. Does it sound like I'm ordering a pizza? All right. I haven't done any Die Hard quotes for a while. Yeah, man, I haven't thought of that movie for ages. Even though everyone likes to argue about it over Christmas for some reason still.
It's very silly. Did you see any Christmas movies this year that you liked, Luke? Anything, hit you this year differently than say last year?
I didn't really watch any Christmas movies. The only Christmassy thing I kind of watched was the Doctor Who Christmas special. And like most of the Doctor Who Christmas specials, it was not for me because it was geared more at the kid-friendly family kind of audience. And I want to punch
Doctor Who, like Doctor Who showed up and he had a noticeable limp. And like
no. No. The new Doctor's not bad. I just didn't gel with the story, and I was just like, "Oh, Merry Christmas." I don't really watch Christmas movies all that much, to be honest.
Yeah, I am not religious, so but I did watch The Holdovers, which is on Peacock now, and I gotta recommend that. It's tremendous. It's same guy that did Sideways. Paul Giamatti is some grumpy fucking dude. It's tremendous. Great movie. You should check it out. And
by the way, I have something to tell you. Mm-hmm. I have like three paragraphs left of this.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, I know, right? That's how amazingly fucking boring this. Oh my God. I was surprised by the suddenness of the situation, but I answered the questions diligently, and after the questions were finished, there was no explanation as to whether it was okay to broadcast the interview or not, only that it would be shown on the evening news. I wondered if the interview about my cotton swabs was shown. People of Toyama, let me know if it was. I don't know
it wasn't
for sure.
No.
I don't know for a fact, but I know this to be true. It was not.
No. And like because he kept saying, well, I'm trying to talk about my back could you shut the fuck up about the cotton swabs? How is that going to help my back that I fucked up by picking up a piece of paper?
Yeah. Oh my God. Imagine being like this big, strong wrestler dude and you blow your back out by not bending your knees picking up a flyer.
Imagine being Godo and having to deal with this.
Oh my
all
God.
Day, every day.
Yeah. Plus, all the farts.
Yeah.
Yo pissed himself all the time as well. Anyway, hey, they asked Goto if he wanted to be in a different faction, and he just took one look at Yoshihashi, sighed, and was like, "No, I will do this."
Yeah, they need me. So
we then moved on to Ishikawa Prefecture. I wrestled the last match of the tour that day and went back to the hotel, relieved that I managed to finish the tour without any problems.
That's code for peeing too, by the way. He was relieved. Oh, okay, dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was relieved to finish the tour without any problems, except for my backache. The bed in the room I stayed in that day was the worst match of the series. The mattress was too squishy and my back was already on the board. I tossed and turned several times but didn't get to sleep at all. The mattresses are probably the worst problem when touring. It's such an underrated component. By the way, my back has already recovered after I took a trip to the treatment center. Tag League starts next series, so I'm going to make sure I'm fit and ready to take on the challenge. There's no self-awareness. Like, all right, the previous one. My room stinks like cigarettes. The answer's in there. Ishi, incense, done.
Yeah.
The beds at the hotels I go to are stanky nuggets. All right. Ask if they've got different beds. All right. Go to a different fucking hotel than the usual ones. What? Sleep on the floor.
Be all right. Yeah, it's gonna be all right, Luke. You know, we're gonna get through this together. I think Yoshihashi is one of these people that like comes up with problems that happen in their life. They're legitimate problems, but when you say, "Hey, here's an easy solution," they don't want to hear that. They just want to continue to bitch about the issues they have going on. And so that is what's going on. It's like one of those things where you say, "Hey, well, buddy, why don't you try this?" But they don't want to hear that because that solves their problem, and then they can't bitch anymore. And Yoshihashi, he just wants to bitch.
I had dinner with wrestlers. Cool. What about an anecdote from? I bet you Yano's got some funny stuff. No, I recommend the rice. Oh,
I don't even care.
By the way, my back hurts.
Yeah. Is that everything? Is he all wrapped up, or is there more about his back?
Somebody want to give him landscaping duty. My fingers hurt. Oh, your fingers hurt? Well, now your back's going to hurt. You just put landscaping duty. It's Ben Stiller. What is it? It's Happy Gilmore.
That lady was also in Twin Peaks, too, by the way. She was a creepy old lady whose son or grandson held the Garmonbozia, the cream corn, in his hand. You know, Tremont. Her name was Mrs. Tremont.
I think I remember her. That's a deep cut. Yeah. But yeah, she was old lady in lots of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was also in, Billy Madison, I think, too.
I didn't know she was in both, but I did. They might. He likes to reuse actors quite a bit. Anyway, that was that Yoshihashi Diary. Oh my god! Mm-hmm. By the way,
man.
So our next episode's Wrestle Kingdom, right?
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Guess who's the diary next? I'll tell you off there.
Okay.
Everyone listening won't get to hear that.
That's right. You all rescue have to wait because we know that the two most important things on our show are Wrestler Diaries and Google reviews, and that's what everybody comes back for. So
that's right. And to hear me botch the intro.
We got it. It only took 20 tries. No big deal.
Man, it was easier for us to work out how to be like, come on down.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, cool. You can use that for the end of year spectacular, all right?
No.
I guess no. All right. Well,
no, we have to come up with a new idea for next year.
So, that's right. We can't reuse things. No one ever does that. All right. So, Mr. Guy, unless you have anything that you wish to add. What's the Noah show? Fuck. Oh, yeah, Mr. Bread was on it. Shit, yeah. In Mr. Bread, we trust.
Stop recording. Record the stops. Okay, so there's one edit in there.